Every time the man goes up a floor in the elevator, he has to say how many floors are left. People around him look at him strangely, but he doesn't care. It's his wife's delivery day. But when his wife finally steps off the delivery bed, she doesn't even glance at their newborn daughter. Without a second thought, she turns and runs off, leaving Sam, who has the intelligence of a 7-year-old, and their newborn daughter behind. Sam didn't know what to do. He clumsily held the girl and bought some baby supplies. He named her Lucy, after one of his favorite Beatles songs. But the little one was really fussy, waking up several times a night. While changing Lucy's diaper in the middle of the night, Sam got a call from his neighbor complaining about the noise. After Sam stumbled through an explanation, Annie, his neighbor, finally understood what had happened. Kind-hearted Annie reminded him to feed Lucy every 2 hours. But Sam didn't know how to tell time. So Annie told him to feed Lucy once after a movie ends. Sam understood right away. He began to feed Lucy strictly according to the movie schedule. After finally getting her to sleep, his friends all came in at once. It was the day for everyone to watch videotapes together. Sam had been so busy that he forgot everything. Since there was no one to take care of Lucy, Sam had to bring her along. Fortunately, he was able to take care of Lucy well on his own. However, having a child interfered with his work. During work hours, Sam had to leave Lucy in the care of Annie, who suffered from agoraphobia. Although Lucy didn't have a mother, she grew up in an environment full of love. When Lucy turned 7, all kinds of strange questions began to emerge from her little mind.
Daddy, where does the sky end? Why does the moon follow me home? Why is the sun orange? Where does the hour go in daylight savings? Daddy, do I look more like you or Mommy?
His genes did not affect Lucy. She was smart and healthy. Sam was very happy, but he gradually found himself unable to answer Lucy's questions. Lucy also realized this, but instead of showing any discontent, she comforted her father earnestly, saying that at least her dad would go to the park with her. Before Lucy started school, Sam and his friends took her to a shoe store to buy shoes. Lucy didn't pick any of the flashy sneakers they chose. She went for a simple pair of little black shoes. However, Sam's money was still not enough. So his friends chipped in what little they had to help cover the cost. Even then, it wasn't enough. Luckily, the shop owner stepped in and covered the rest, even giving each of them a balloon. Though Sam didn't know much, he always wanted to give Lucy the best he could. Bedtime stories every night, playtime together, and never missed parent-teacher conferences. Lucy was never a child lacking in love and companionship. Until one day, when she invited a classmate over to play, his disdainful attitude towards her dad planted a sensitive seed in Lucy's heart. It was bedtime story time again, and the teacher had just issued new storybooks. This time, there were many words that Sam did not recognize. One day, Sam was called to the school by Lucy's teacher. It turned out that Lucy had been deliberately lowering her grades and slowing down her learning. The teacher thought Lucy might be doing this to protect Sam's pride. She didn't want to seem smarter than her dad. In the evening, it was story time again. Sam asked Lucy to read him the new story she had learned. Lucy deliberately read haltingly. Sam noticed and told Lucy that only her progress would make him happy. He didn't want her to hide her light. That made Lucy smile again, and she started reading the story more confidently. However, as Lucy grew older, she began feeling embarrassed when she was around Sam, especially because of the way others looked at them. Even though she knew it wasn't right, she often found herself awkwardly looking down. On this day, the children gathered at Lucy's house to celebrate her birthday. A mischievous little boy was unwilling to cooperate. When Lucy entered the room, she happened to witness this scene. The lie told to protect her self-esteem was publicly exposed. Lucy ran away in embarrassment. A social worker from the Child Protection Services was also at the birthday party. She immediately called the police. She had been keeping an eye on Sam and Lucy's situation. The events at the party convinced her that Sam, with an intellectual disability, was not capable of caring for Lucy. The judge ruled that from then on, Lucy would be placed under the care of social services, and Sam would only be allowed to visit her twice a week until a new adoptive family could be found. Sam didn't understand the legal jargon the judge used. He only knew that Lucy would be leaving him. He went to find his friends, and they told him that the first thing he should do was find the best lawyer. The name of the top lawyer, Rita, caught his eye in the newspaper. Rita was very busy, with a mountain of cases on her hands, and she even had no time to pay attention to her son's messages. Faced with Sam, who clearly couldn't afford the high lawyer fees, she casually said she would introduce a more suitable lawyer to him and sent him away. But Sam didn't give up. He kept coming to find Rita every day. Seeing her gossiping colleagues, Rita had no choice but to lie, claiming Sam was her client and that she was offering a pro bono defense. However, her colleagues just laughed because they knew how profit-driven Rita usually was and didn't believe she would offer free legal help to someone from a disadvantaged group. To prove herself, Rita reluctantly took on the case, but it quickly turned into her nightmare. First, Rita needed to find witnesses who could testify that Sam was a good father. However, most of Sam's friends, like him, had intellectual disabilities. The only one who had been to college, Annie, was unwilling to testify in court due to her agoraphobia. On the other hand, the long-awaited visitation day finally arrived. Sam bought Lucy's favorite cake, but because he missed the first bus, he was late for a long time and only arrived in the last few minutes. In his rush, he tripped and fell, squashing the cake. Lucy, seeing her dad like this, felt even more regretful about the lie she had told earlier. She told Sam that all she wanted was for him to be her dad. Although the preparations didn't go smoothly, Rita still showcased her exceptional professional skills during the first round of the trial. Not only did she reduce the psychologist to tears, but she also brought in a witness who was raised by a person with intellectual disabilities. Contrary to the prosecution's concerns, this did not negatively affect her growth, and she even became a doctor. Thanks to Rita's strategic moves, their chances of winning the case now looked promising. However, during a break in the trial, Lucy sneaked out. In an attempt to stay with Sam, she lied, telling him that the social worker had just agreed to let them go to the park. But the bus kept driving further and further. Sam sensed something was wrong and said they should turn back. Lucy, however, disagreed. She believed that if they went back now, they would only be separated. She told Sam about a mother who had lost her case and hadn't seen her child for 6 years. The only way for them to stay together, she thought, was to escape, change their names and live under a new identity. But by evening, they were discovered by the police and taken back. Rita was furious. Sam's irrational behavior was very damaging to their chances of winning the case. But Sam didn't understand what winning meant. He just wanted Lucy to be happy. Looking at the little girl who was about the same age as her son, Rita's heart softened. The next day in court, Lucy denied sneaking away the night before. The prosecutor told Lucy that now she was growing up, her needs far exceeded what Sam could provide. After hearing this, Lucy paused for a long time. Just when the prosecutor thought he was going to win, Lucy slowly spoke up. Lucy needs love and Sam can provide love. But at that moment, the screen went blank. Afterwards, Sam would pray every day, hoping that Lucy could come back to him. All of this was seen by their neighbor Annie. When the next court session came, Annie overcame her agoraphobia and came as well. In the courtroom, she firmly stated that Sam was a qualified father and that Lucy was so smart precisely because she had a dad like Sam. This was a very special trial. Sam is the father of a 7-year-old girl named Lucy, but due to his intellectual disability, social workers from Child Protection Services believed he was unfit to care for Lucy and took her away from him. In order to regain custody of his daughter, Sam hired the well-known lawyer Rita to help him with the case. The case was challenging, but with Rita's strong expertise and the support of their neighbor Annie, who testified that Sam was a capable father, their chances of winning increased significantly. The next hearing was the most crucial one, where Sam would be questioned in court. Rita took Sam back to her home, an empty, sprawling mansion. There, she saw her son sitting alone watching TV. Despite their material wealth, the boy had never received love and attention from his parents. Seeing her son, who resisted communication, Rita felt exhausted. She decided to focus on rehearsing Sam's defense for the next day's court appearance and also prepared a neat suit for him. Everything seemed in order, but before the hearing, Sam accidentally forgot to put the lid on the blender while making coffee, spilling it everywhere. Covered in coffee, he hurried to court, but still ended up being late. As soon as he arrived, he had to take the stand and give his speech. However, Sam had completely forgotten the words he had planned to say, and soon found himself falling into the prosecution's trap. Sam broke down in tears, admitting his feelings of inadequacy due to his disability. He wanted Lucy to have a better life, but he couldn't provide it for her. Ultimately, Sam reached a breaking point. Later, Sam saw Lucy again. They embraced tightly. Their tears kept streaming down, but the court still decided to separate them. Sam felt desperate and helpless, consumed by darkness. Sam and Rita returned to their own lives. After the trial, Rita, who had always been busy with work, began to realize that she hadn't spent enough time with her son. Sometimes what children need isn't wealth or resources, but their parents' love. She started trying to be a better mother. Though Sam lost custody of Lucy, he still had visitation rights. On the day of his visit, Sam put on clean clothes and brought a small bouquet of flowers. But from a distance, He saw Lucy playing in her new home's beautiful front yard. She shone brightly, like a diamond. Sam silently walked away. What he didn't know was that Lucy had been waiting for him, sitting in that beautiful front yard. But she wasn't happy at all. After losing Lucy, Sam fell into despair. Day after day, he locked himself away at home. One day, Rita came to visit him and was shocked by what she saw. She encouraged Sam to pull himself together, to make money and prepare for an appeal to regain Lucy's custody. But Sam broke down completely. Rita knew that Sam's life was tough, but the last thing he should do at this moment was give up. She convinced him to move into a new apartment so he could be closer to Lucy, and she even helped him find a dog-walking job. Sam went to Lucy's new home. Although her adoptive mother didn't want him to show up outside of the visitation hours, she still called Lucy over. When Lucy saw Sam, what she felt was more anger than anything else. Faced with his daughter's anger, Sam, who wasn't good with words, awkwardly took out the letter he had written to Lucy earlier, expressing how much he missed and loved her. Feeling Sam's love, Lucy's anger quickly faded. Every night after that, Lucy would secretly sneak out of the house, holding her bunny stuffed animal. She would walk past the convenience store that was still open and go to Sam's apartment. Gently, she would knock on the door to wake her sleeping father. Then, once Lucy fell asleep, Sam would return her to the foster home. This went on day after day, with Lucy escaping again and again, and Sam sending her back each time. On the last night before the appeal hearing, Lucy's foster mother took her to Sam's apartment herself. She was worried that Lucy might wake up and be upset if she didn't see her father, so she decided to bring her over. Even she was willing to support Sam's appeal to regain custody. Although Sam wasn't very intelligent, seeing the tears in the foster mother's eyes, he knew that this woman loved Lucy just as much as he did. At the end of the story, the film doesn't specify who ended up with Lucy's custody. But at Lucy's soccer match, her beloved father Sam is the referee. Her foster family is cheering for her from the sidelines, and Sam's circle of friends, Rita, and her son are also there. It's easy to imagine that, no matter who gets Lucy's custody, this little girl will grow up in a loving environment, happy and surrounded by love. With that, the film ends. I Am Sam is a 2001 movie. I've seen quite a few criticisms of it on Letterboxd. Admittedly, the film does have flaws, but since I watched it during my childhood, I find it hard to give a harsh critique. I prefer to focus on the message the film conveys. Love. Sam's IQ may not be high, but the love he gives Lucy is pure. He spends so much time with her, letting her grow up in a loving environment. Sam may have limited things to teach Lucy, but the love he gives her is boundless. The agencies, in an effort to provide Lucy with a better education, forcibly separated this father and daughter. But they didn't realize that love itself is a form of education. Of course, such an idea might seem naive to adults. Perhaps that's why the film introduces the foster family and leaves the ending open. Feel free to leave your thoughts on the film in the comments. See you in the next movie.